Hi everyone, my name is John, and welcome to the World Lexicon's first video on the German language for English speakers. My personal backstory with German goes back for years and years, and I'm going to attempt to make the videos that I would have wanted to see when I was learning the language. If you're taking a German class right now, welcome! I hope this finds you well. German is a Germanic language spoken in Germany. Its closest neighbors linguistically are Dutch, and a little more distantly is English. In fact, German being so close to English might reveal some key features of the English language that weren't already obvious to you as you learn German. But before you learn anything else, it's important to know how this language sounds. This video will be in a few different parts: vowels, consonants, diphthongs, and digraphs. So, without further ado, let's get started. Let's begin with the vowels. Firstly, there's ah. This is like the A in call. Der Apfel. Note the indefinite article der. This will change depending on gender. Next is a. This can be the A in lake or cat. Die Äpfel. Note the change from der to die. That will be important later. Next is ä. This is more like the vowel sound in 10. Das Essen. Next is e. It's like the I in crib. Die Idee. This is o. Like the O in gross. Die Orange. This is Ü. It's a bit like the double O's in good. Österreich. This is U. It's like the U in bowl. Die Umwelt. This is Ü. It's like the O in tomb. Übersetzen. The letter upsilon can also make a similar sound. For example, in Syrien. Alright, now we'll move on to the consonants. Anything that's similar to English I won't explain in full detail, but anything that has a difference I will be sure to pay attention to that. This is B. Der Bär. This is T. This letter is mostly paired with the letters K or H at the end of words, but it also makes its own sounds at times. Currywurst. This is D. Doppelgänger. It can make a T sound at the end of words. Der Fahrrad. This is F. Die Fabrik. This is G. Das Geld. This is H. Das Huhn. You can see here that it can also be used as a silent letter. This is J. It's a lot like the English Y. Der Junge. This is K. Der Kaffee. This is L. Die Liebe. This is M. Das Mädchen. This is N. Die Nacht. This is P. Das Papier. This is Kve, and it's kind of like K and V next to each other in English. Der Quark. This letter is R. It can either make an R-like sound in the velar region of the mouth, or the back of the mouth, re. Or, if it's after a vowel, sometimes it will make a vowel sound, like the A in autumn, aw. Die radio. This letter is S, and it can have a few different sounds. In most cases, it's just S, like the S in English. Though, if it comes before another consonant, it may make an SH sound, sh. In other cases, where it comes behind a vowel, sometimes it will make a Z sound, like the Z in English. Sachsen. Sport. This is Te. Die Trauben. This is V. It's kind of like an F sound. Das Vogel. This is V. It's like the English V. Der Wagen. This is X. It's the same as English, but basically only used in loanwords. As well as the letter upsilon, which has a consonant sound, but most of the time is used like a vowel. Lastly, this is Z. It's like the letters T and S together, like in the word tsunami. Die Zitrone. Okay, so that's all the letters. Let's talk about some sounds that exist within German but cannot be represented by one letter alone. These are digraphs. The first of which I'll be talking about is CH, or CH. The digraph CH in German makes the sound like the CH in Loch Ness. So basically like a harder sound of H, or an H mixed with a K. Cha, cha. Machen. In some cases though, it can make a ch sound, like in the word Mädchen. The next digraph is CK, which is just a K sound. Die Socken. Next is der T, which can mostly be simplified to a hard T sound. Die Stadt. Next is NG, which is a lot like the English equivalent. Entschuldigung. Kind of like the NG in sing. This is PF, which is just saying the two letters in succession. It's a bit tricky if you're a native English speaker and haven't experienced this before, but it sounds like this. P. P. Kind of like you're letting out a big amount of air. Pfefferminze. This is te-ha, which ends up being another hard T sound. Mate. This is te-zet, in which the T is silent. Herz. This is S-C-H, a trigraph. It's a lot like the English SH, sh. English. This is DSCH. It's a lot like the English J. It's only used in loanwords though. Dschungel. This is TSCH. This is more like the English CH. Deutsch. Okay, now to the last of the sounds, the diphthongs. These are combinations of vowel letters made to make new vowel letter sounds. A-I, E-I, A-upsilon, and E-upsilon all become like the I in bright. A good way to remember this is, the second vowel usually says its name in English. Schreiben, Mailand. E turns into the double E's like in Creed. Liebe. AU becomes like the OW in cow. Frau. EU and AU become like the OY in boy. Europa. Alright, that was a lot, but that's pretty much every sound in German. There's one last thing I want to mention before this video ends, and that is that German is a highly dialecticized language, just like English. So what that means is, in English, for example, someone from the UK isn't going to sound like someone from the US, and even someone from, say, the southern part of the US won't sound like someone from the Pacific Northwest. In German, the same principle holds true. Just as there are different varieties of German in Austria, Switzerland, and other places that speak German, within Germany there are a lot of dialects as well, with a very significant north and south split. The northern dialects are most commonly referred to as Low German, and they're closer to Dutch than the other dialects of German. And the ones in the south are most commonly referred to as High German. So if you're talking to someone from Austria, they're likely speaking a dialect of High German, for example. What I'm teaching in this video is a standardized kind of dialect, and if you have relatives in any one part of Germany, they might not speak like the way I'm speaking in this video. I advise you to keep this in mind if your purpose for learning German is to communicate with your German family. And it also helps to speak like a native if you're planning to move to the German-speaking area. For example, if you're moving to Switzerland, you'll find a lot of differences in the German that's spoken there. Here's a full map of the German dialects. It's good to practice now and then, so be sure to come back and look over all the sounds for yourself. You'll hopefully be able to see how all these sounds work together by the end of next video. Thank you so much for watching, and I've been John. Peace.